Hello guys, it's Payton here. Today we're working on a 2014 Chevy Silverado with the V6 in it, and we're going to be tuning the DOD out and also the TCC clutch lockup out. So what the DOD does, it is displacement on demand. That's what it stands for, and essentially it kills this on the V6. It kills actually two cylinders. I forget which ones, but essentially I think they do that for like emission reasons. But and this DOD stuff is actually slowly over time killing your engine, and not only your engine but also your transmission, because whenever it deactivates those cylinders in this vehicle, the torque converter is the thing that GM decided was going to absorb all of the torsional forces coming from the crank. So slowly over time, what GM is doing with this torque converter is they are allowing it to slip over time, and it's slowly killing. Okay, sorry, I got interrupted. Hello guys, it's Payton here. I'm editing this video right now, and I'm realizing that this video is switching from portrait mode to landscape mode, and I'm sorry about that. Y'all are just gonna have to deal with that. I'll do better next time. Thank you. In the V8, it slips in first through six, and the first three gears are really bad for it to slip in, the torque converter, because the first three gears have high torque multiplication on those gears, and it really puts a stress and load on that converter. It's not really as bad as in 4, 5, and 6, but 1, 2, and 3, I really wouldn't slip the converter at all. How do you tell if this thing has DOD? The most simple thing is I've seen a little green icon right here at the bottom. The little green icon will turn on whenever the DOD activates, and then also this V6 right here. If it turns to a V4 on the V6, that is your DOD is activating. This one didn't seem to really do it as much, so I'm wondering if this TCM has been updated by GM. Maybe it went to the dealer and got an update. But yeah, we're fixing to do the tune, and I'll let you know what's up. Okay, the first thing that we're going to be doing is going to be modifying this TCC apply pressure ramp. I have some notes here of what I'm doing. This tune is not something that I have made. This tune, I've actually watched a video on YouTube about it. I'll be sure to, well, you can just go to YouTube and type in the bar 6L80 tuning. I usually go with Hiram Transmissions. He has a YouTube channel called Automatic Transmission, and he does a pretty good job. He's had a lot of experience with this stuff. But yeah, this is the first thing that you do. Okay, the next thing we got modified is the general max pressure at 290, max pressure B at 290, max clutch pressure 290 psi. And also you're going to go into max line pressure and modify D1 through D6. Put it all at 290 psi, along with the reverse as well, 290 psi. Now this tune is not going to work for any other transmission. This is only specifically for the 6L80. It's not going to work for the 8-speed nor the 10-speed, 10L80 or 8L90. This is only for the 6-speed. So yeah. Okay, the next thing I'm going to modify is this TCC desired pressure. Yeah, again, how to do all this is in that video, so I'm not going to go over how to do all this. It's already been recorded, and the guy does a good job of telling us what to do. So okay, so I just went ahead and completed everything. On the engine side of things, you're going to want to disable the DOD just to be uniform with everything. Where I left off here was went to torque converter apply / release, And then this is your torque converter release and apply stuff. It's essentially tuned it to where it's gonna operation is gonna be like an old torque converter operation. And then the TCC desired slip for the AC, you're gonna want to zero out all of these tables right here. All of these tables right here, just zero them out. Make sure you disable the DOD. And that's kind of it with this thing. I'm just gonna ride it into the ECM and TCM, and then we'll test drive it, and then we'll see what happens. Okay guys, so test driving this thing right now, and it's just doing good in my opinion. The torque converter is only slipping in 5th and 6th gear, which is really good. Got rid of that. It's slipping in 1st through 6th. But yeah, this thing is doing really good. It's never activated its DOD mode, which the main problem with these transmissions is actually what I've seen a lot is the torque converter will wear out because it's slipping a lot. And this torque converter is actually a really good torque converter. It's just it's run ragged by the programming on the module, by GM. So, and what will happen is like the torque converter will wear out, and then it'll send a bunch of material through the pump, clutch material from the torque converter clutch, and it wipes out the pump in these things, and then you start to get like erratic pressure behavior, erratic shifting, uncontrollable shifting behavior. And the best thing to do, it's really easy diagnosis, is you just do a fluid sample and you look at the fluid, and if there's metal in the fluid, like silver bits of metal. Now if it's really fine metal, it's kind of okay. It's just, that's normal. That's just clutch material wear over time. That'll happen. But if you see metal in the fluid, like really decent sized chunks, and when I say that, I'm like kind of like pin needle sized chunks of metal, I think it's probably gonna need a rebuild. But yeah, I've seen one come back after my dad rebuilt one 5 years later, 50,000 miles later, and it was doing the same thing. Torque converter shutter, and we didn't rebuild that one. We just put that Ford additive in there, that Ford friction modifier additive in there, and that stopped that torque converter shutter. But yeah, that's just crazy that you rebuild one of these units, these 6080s, and then 50,000 miles later it's doing the same thing, just because of this DOD stuff and that TCC slippage stuff. So every time I rebuild one of these, it's getting this treatment. It's definitely going to last a lot longer than what it would have. All that. Another thing you can do with the 6080s is there is a thermostat on the end, on the closest to the transmission of the oil cooler lines for the transmission oil cooler. There's a thermostat that you can get rid of. I just, take it all apart, throw away the thermostat and all that spring junk in there, and then I just put a plug in there, like a little metal plug. I thread out with the inside of that thermostat housing, and I put a plug in there so that it flows through the oil cooler all the time, so that you can lower your oil temperatures in your transmission, because heat kills. You want your transmission fluid to be as cool as possible, within reason anyway. I'm going to leave a link to the video that I learned all of this from, the tuning side of it, in the description. Anyway guys, hope y'all enjoyed this video. I'll leave some of my information down in the description as well if you want to get a hold of me. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.